Hello fellow pipe smokers, Typing Piper here, without a pipe. It is super cold outside. As I was saying, it is super cold outside, so I won't be smoking anything for a while. But I did pick up something that is smoky. That would be Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Yeah, I tried a little bit. I tried a little bit last night. And, okay, so drinking this stuff straight, not going to be my thing. I did do some research afterwards because I was like, I've got a bottle of this stuff. What can I do with it? So far, I want to try making an old-fashioned. And there's a couple of other mixes I wanted to try. Rum and Coke is, or not rum and Coke. Coke and whiskey, that's not on the list. No. But I do want to try an old-fashioned. Don't know when that's gonna happen. I am, you know, I want to say there was some success. A few things that happened with my first glass. I watched a video where it was explaining the chemistry and how do you get the aromas and the taste, and because quite frankly right now it all smells the same and tastes the same to me. Some smokier than others. And but you know, after like 5 or 10 minutes I was like, hey, I just got a hint of vanilla. For some reason that was kind of fruity. And who knows, maybe it was starting to, you know, quickly affect my brain. I don't know. But I will be giving it a few more shots. I did not intend that pun. But no, I'll be giving it a few more tries, and like I said, I do want to try making an old-fashioned and find a couple of other traditional drinks to mix it with. On other news, okay, so it's Tuesday. I haven't made a video in like 4 or 5 days, and went to the Chicago Field Museum, which was really cool. I'll probably be posting some photos at the end of this to share with you what I was seeing. Gosh, what else happened? Oh yeah, the Field Museum. Really cool displays, really like awesome taxidermy, things that you will never see anywhere else, including, what was it, the Mexican brown bear, which is extinct for like 100 years now. You can see one there. There's also the dinosaur exhibits. But damn, went to have lunch. Worst hamburger I have ever had. And it was like, I think 11, 12 bucks. The worst hamburger ever. And it was locally sourced, grass-fed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're in Chicago. How local could a cow be? And where in this city do you let it graze for grass? So I immediately had some concerns about this cafeteria. All I wanted was a damn burger. And holy crap. Like, I've had better shit at McDonald's. Okay, so the Field Museum, bad burgers, some Buffalo Trace. What else has been happening? Let's jump to the news. Why not? Why not just ruin a perfectly good video up until now? Some white kid wearing a MAGA hat stared down against a Native American war veteran. And when you watch the actual video, like the whole thing, the actual video, it was a bunch of kids who were being harassed by another group. Then you had the Native American who just kind of jumped in with his war drum. I'm sorry. His drum. I don't know if he was preparing for war or not. I don't want to cultural appropriate. Oh dear God, I'm going to get banned from YouTube. But no, this video, which people took really short clips of, and it was basically those two facing off. A 16-year-old kid and a guy who was in his 60s are like looking at each other. And I don't know. If you took the drum out and the hat off, they could have been flirting. Seriously, considering that the kid like turned around and ended up walking away, I'm surprised that people aren't, you know, more offended that he like rejected the older man coming on to him. But hey, I don't know how that culture works. I'm not a part of it, and like I said, this was like the biggest piece of non-news that could have been on the internet, or Twitter, or CNN, or Fox News. Whatever you watch, it should not have been on there. It was stupid. I went to Catholic schools. I know what kind of kids people go to these schools. You know, there wasn't any video footage of the kids yelling out, "Build that wall," so I don't know when that happened or what the indigenous veteran, whether he was making that up or if it was actually said. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. It was like really shitty video footage, and you know, it was cut and pasted for people who just get pissed off and outraged and kind of over it. Coming back to the upcoming election. It's only been 2 years and we're dealing with election bullshit all over again. If people didn't learn from the last time around, when there was like, what, a dozen Republican people who were trying to become the nominee, didn't work out for 11 of them. Everybody had their spotlight for like 5 minutes, and of course, because Trump was in the race, you know, everyone was overshadowed by that guy, which doesn't make any sense, but it's what happened, and I have a feeling that's the road that the Democrats are going down, and it's going to be like the craziest person in their party is probably going to come to the forefront. I'm not sure if that's going to be Hillary or not. She's saying she'd like to run again. Because we need some of that shit all over again. But no, yesterday, Kamala Harris came out, I'll get to that later, as running for president. And I was actually really surprised. You know, her book just came out. I think she's trying to just build this wave, kind of like how Obama did when he wrote The Audacity of Hope. Was that the title? Okay, so I think Kamala Harris is trying to redo Obama's success, which... Come on, it's, what, 10, 12 years after Obama ran, which means that social platforms have changed, that how you run an election has changed. Hillary tried this tactic. You're going to have to do something new. And what bugs me about Kamala Harris running, so I did like 5 minutes of research. I am not an expert. This is just what I notice, and I think they are going to tear her apart on, is the fact that This is a 54-year-old woman who has no kids, got married for the first time 4 years ago, and has been married to her job most of her life. Now, I've worked with a lot of professionals, and what 9 times out of 10, if not more, what happens, women, straight women, are like really super devoted, but then they start pushing the age of 40, and even though they are a partner at a law firm, they work excessively long hours at God knows what medical field, business, whatever, they start making a change because they realize the clock is ticking, family is actually more important than jobs, yada yada yada. That's not Kamala Harris, and the few professionals I know who live the life that she lives tend to have some secrets that they don't want other people to know about. And I think on both sides, when they start questioning this, you're going to have the so-called progressive liberals who are going to tear her apart for not being open. And then you're going to have the Republicans saying we can't have this abomination in the White House. Boom, her campaign's over. And unfortunately, when you put yourself out into the limelight and you decide that you're going to run for a position like president, you're opening yourself to people just being complete fucking assholes. And hey, I don't care if, what her lifestyle is, what she does. When it comes to her policies, there was a lot of questions that were raised, and I haven't looked into them all that much. I know that in California, she was anti-death penalty, but then she enforced the death penalty when she was, I believe it was Attorney General. So this is somebody that she has her policies, but then depending on the job, her argument was that she had to enforce the law. I can make a whole nother video about what that entails, because you've got things like officers' discretion. You have judges that will say, well, the law states this, but boom, you now have a new precedent as to what that means. So, yeah, there's a lot to be said about our laws, and, some people have this really messed up opinion of the law is the law, but that doesn't mean it can't be changed. Okay, so the last bit of news. We're on day 32, 33, something like that, of the great government shutdown. Making America great again. Woo! Forcing people to work without pay. I do believe that is considered slavery. Oh, but hey, they're going to get back pay as long as they don't quit their jobs, and they don't know how long this is going to last. So I can't think of anybody else in the country right now who isn't getting bent over and non-lubed more than federal employees. So I do have a few things to say about that. For one, you work for the federal government, so when it comes to having extra cash, when it comes to being prepared for worst possible scenarios, they should probably know better than anybody. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're victim blaming here. Well, they kind of put themselves in this situation. For one, why are these people living paycheck to paycheck? Most of the time, that's their own doing. For example, there is one woman who is complaining that her and her husband have a $3,000 a month mortgage. $3,000 a month. You work for the federal government. Why do you think you deserve a $300,000 house? Are you out of your mind? Then there was a couple who was on Jimmy Kimmel, and they were talking about how like they had money in savings, but they were going to take their kids to Disney. So what happens? They paid for these people to go to Disney, because that's important. What I'm saying is, most of the people who are complaining that they don't have any money, that they were not prepared, they live paycheck to paycheck. Well, maybe little Billy shouldn't be doing hockey, and maybe your little girl shouldn't be taking ballet, and maybe you should have your priorities straight and, work on paying off the house and being financially secure instead of saying, fuck it, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, live it up now. The family that dipped into their Disney savings, good for them. Like, that's the savings they should have had set aside. Not just for Disney, but in case something happens. And that's what I encourage a lot of people to do. So, if you have a $3,000 a month mortgage, you have bigger problems than Donald Trump being president. You are your biggest problem. And I bitch about my $470-something a month mortgage, but that's because I don't make jack shit for money. Well, actually I make more than I did before, so I have less reason to complain. But still, it's a good percentage of my income going towards a mortgage. And I don't know what government job you can have where you're paying $3,000 a month on your mortgage and still have money for, I'm guessing these idiots probably also have 2 car payments, car insurance, God knows what other bullshit, credit cards. Yeah, it's not Trump, it's not Congress, it's themselves that are their own worst enemy. So I'm going to finish this video up, and the little one seems to be occupying herself a lot today, so I'm thinking maybe she'll let me get some writing in, because that hasn't been happening. I'll share that in a later video, but yeah, that's been my life. That's some of the BS going on, and hope everyone is doing well. In the meantime, keep on typing.